I've always been shy to talk about dreams in relationship to God. I think in part because there's some old hurt for me there, and because I think a lot of people feel wounded by the church, wounded by religion, angry at God. Yet at 63, I can't really deny that a lot of times when I think about dreams, I think about them in relationship to God. And even that's an understatement. So for example, just think for a minute about the possibility that our dreams each night come from some deeper consciousness. And you don't have to call that God. You can just substitute consciousness if you want. I think I'm just reclaiming my own relationship with God and my own relationship with consciousness and the language that I grew up with and the lineage that I grew up with. I guess that's where I want to start, is with this idea that each night we're given a piece of wisdom, guidance, a very personal piece of consciousness. I don't think it's just from God in the traditional way that I was brought up, but I think it's of God. It's like this relationship it's our relationship between us and God. And it has that bigger consciousness in it, and it also has, and this is a piece that's really important, it has that bigger consciousness in relationship to you. And I think for me, there's a specific context. There's a specific context about how we've all, on some level, become alienated from parts of our own heart and soul. And therefore alienated from any sense of bigger consciousness, any sense of God. And I think, we live in a really crazy time right now. I think that was true before Trump got elected, but I think it's accelerating. The fires in LA just happened. There's a ceasefire right now in Israel and Palestine, but just a horrible, horrible situation there in Ukraine. I think a lot of continued suffering here, that Trump is escalating in ways that are horrifying. And I think we need guidance. I think we need personal guidance, like how do I find my own way through all of this? And I think we need guidance that's not just my own mind, my own way of, we need to be able to lean back and feel like I'm not alone in this, or at least I feel that. Maybe not everybody feels that, but I think if you feel that need for guidance, if you feel that need for inner support, I think it's important to think about the possibility that we should all take a few minutes in the morning and be with the gift that's given to us each night in our dreams. And I know for some people who have trauma dreams or what they call nightmares, that might seem like a horrifying idea. But even with that, it's just you don't have to go into the dream. You don't have to go in. If there's something violent or abusive or traumatic in the dream, you don't have to go into it. You just take a breath and be like, wow, I'm dealing with something in relationship to my consciousness that's really hard, and how do I bring tenderness to that challenge? Maybe it's not even yours. Maybe it's the trauma of the world. Who knows? Or maybe it is yours, and you don't need to confront it directly. This is the whole point, is if we're being given this consciousness by God, or we're just being given this consciousness by the divine, or by the earth itself, or just by consciousness, then we're meant to, it comes to us, in my understanding, from a place of love. It's not meant to hurt us more. It's not meant to make us suffer. It's not meant to make us turn into victims. It's meant to give us a chance to heal. Maybe before I do all the other things that I do, I need to have some tenderness for myself of wow, there's some real hurt here for me. There's some real fear. There's some real pain. And also can we have faith that there's also love? A lot of people don't know that love in their lives, or they feel love, but they feel starved for more love. And I think if you give attention to your dreams, even really hard dreams, you're also going to have dreams that show you a little bit of love. They're going to teach you. What's challenging about dreams is they do two things, and this is, of course, oversimplified, but I think it's a good place to start. They show us the ways that we've been separated from the heart and soul of who we are, and they always show us the way back. But sometimes we need to see it. Like sometimes we need to trust that part of ourselves that like knows something is off in our lives or in the world around us. If we don't know that, if we don't trust and respect the challenges that we're up against, then I don't think we can grow and change the way that most of us need to, the way that I need to. I mean, it's funny, yesterday I tried to do this video, or intro video. This is kind of my launch video for our new People of the Dream YouTube channel here. And we're also doing we're doing a new website called People of the Dream. And I tried to do a launch video yesterday, and my energy just wasn't there because I had like all these ideas of what I was supposed to do, and I just took a pause and I was like, okay, you're telling people to like focus on your dreams, but have you even taken a moment to be with your own dream? And I hadn't. It was kind of a funny moment. So I stopped, I went back to my dream. It was kind of this interesting dream about feeling unwelcome in this new home, in part, and then also going back to my old home. And oh no, it was actually the new home wasn't ready, and then I felt unwelcome going back to the old home. And then there was this other energy that was like, it's all okay, Bill, you're okay. And it was helpful to me just know that even as I launched this new channel, there's this idea that I have to have the new thing completed. And if it's not completed, then I can't just be me and do what I've always done. It's like, I need to like transform myself in the channel and the website and the world. And I don't need to. I can just do it a step at a time. I can lean into my dreams for guidance, even in what I talk about every day. Actually, I'm not going to do a video every day, I don't think, but I'm going to try to do a video every week. And I think we can all learn to do that. I was watching a video the other day, and they talked about this thing called the morning miracle. And the idea behind it, this is probably grossly oversimplified, but was the idea that if you start your day in a good way, with some kind of reflection, prayer, presence, meditation, creativity, love, tenderness, or even just something relaxing, like a walk or a quiet moment, then it sets the foundation for your day, and you're much more likely to have a good day. And if you start the day the way that I did, of like ignoring my dream, going against what I was going to teach, and you're not going to have as good a day. Fortunately, I made my course correction and I ended up having a great day. But the funny thing was the video, I had all sorts of technology problems. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. And this is actually recording. And I think on some bigger level, my dream about feeling unwelcome is also a reflection of like, I think there's a lot of people in the world that feel unwelcome. Maybe even in much more immediate, terrible ways. You know, I think about migrant farm workers or other undocumented workers who are out there doing the menial work that most of us here in this country don't want to do. And yet they're scared at work, they're scared at home, they're scared for their kids getting picked up. I think of the attacks on the trans and queer community, how people are being told that they can't even have their own identity, which for me goes against everything that dreams. Like, to me, dreams are all about, like, you get to be yourself. It's about learning to be yourself. And my own personal opinion is that people, trans people, and anybody really who's willing to trust and honor and play around with learning, like, this is who I am, I think it's a gift to the rest of us. And I think there's, you think of the number of people like vets and other folks who have committed suicide, who are contemplating suicide, who feel so unwelcome here on this planet, in this world, in this culture, that they literally are considering taking their own lives. And I think that we can change that. I don't think we have to accept that as the norm. I don't think we have to accept the government's opinion of us, any government. That's not just a mega government, but I don't think we have to accept any government's opinion of who we are. I think we get to fight and trust and learn who we are. And I know that dreams may not be a panacea for that, but they could be a part of it. I think these are times we need guidance. We need somewhere to turn, and I think somewhere to turn that also honors our own wisdom. So maybe this is a mistake because I've talked about it so far in terms of God's wisdom, but I don't think it's just God's wisdom that's coming through us each night. I think it's some kind of relationship between our own inner wisdom and some bigger consciousness. I always have a tendency at this point to feel like, oh, now I need to pull it all together somehow. I tend to riff and then feel like I need to pull it all together. And I have a friend named Anne who has taught me to just say all that. In a way, it's my version of saying amen at the end of my prayer, which in a way this is. It's a prayer. It's a prayer for myself. It's a prayer for you. It's a prayer for the world that, we can dream of something better. And I hope that we can learn to be people of the dream. I think that if you want to nurture your own wisdom, your own inner guidance, I think you can become a person of your dream, and I think it can help you. And if you're interested in that, give the video a like. It would help me out. It would help the channel out as we launch this. If you're willing to subscribe, it doesn't cost anything, and it would help us out. So, a little ask in exchange for hopefully I've given you something today that's helpful. I'll see you next time. Thank you.